I'm Rachel and you're watching 𝐊𝐴𝐴 TV live from Sydney. This is the Stocks in Action show. First, let's look at the ASX200 and the ASX listed stocks that are trending today. The S&P ASX 200 is down just 1.8 points today from 7,290.8. The bottom performing stocks in this index are Ansell. Their shares are down at 3.15%, and Altium, their shares are down 2.63%. Over the last 5 days, the index has gained 1.01% and is currently up 0.6% off its 52-week high. Post early morning gains, the ASX 200 is trending lower around lunchtime, tracking subdued Wall Street performance overnight. While materials and the information technology sectors are gaining strength, we can see a downtick in consumer and energy indices. Overall, we cannot deny that inflation worries are embedded in investor psychology. Worries remain that the Fed may start discussing tapering asset purchases at next week's FOMC meeting. Also, after US Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen's comment that higher US interest rates would be good for the economy. US inflation numbers are closely eyed on this front. Yesterday, the ASX 200 rose 0.5% in early trade and it closed firmer at 7,292.6 on Tuesday. The index was led by technology and healthcare stocks. On that note, let us quickly glance through some significant market movements globally. On Tuesday, 3 major Wall Street indexes rose, with the big tech stocks trading in the green on Wall Street. The Dow Jones fell 0.09%, the S&P 500 gained 0.02%, and the Nasdaq added 0.31%. The equity market's volatility index fell to as low as 15.15, a level not seen since February 2020. Besides the inflation worries, the US economy's skewed demand and supply balance are apparently forcing the markets to pull back. The stress was palpable in most stock segments. However, 6 of the 11 critical sectors on the S&P 500 index saw modest gains despite a subdued mood in the markets, with stocks moving up and down for most of the day. On Tuesday, the 10-year US Treasury note fell 4.2 basis points to 1.528%, implying bond investors don't see a pickup in inflation. The 30-year Treasury bond yields were down 1.42% to 2.22. US dollar futures index slightly increased to 0.2% to $90.12.7. The Australian dollar was a shade lower at 77.42 cents after topping out at 77.65 cents overnight. The dollar index was last up 0.12%. And in the crypto world, Coinbase Global shed 4.27%, Bitcoin shed 7.58%, and Ethereum shed 8.64%. Gold fell on Tuesday as a stronger dollar dimmed appetite for bullion, while investors awaited a US inflation data for clues on when the Federal Reserve will begin tapering its monetary stimulus. Spot gold fell 0.3% to $1,893.51 per ounce. That was at 10:48 Greenwich Mean Time, while US gold futures eased 0.1% to $1,896.30. Amid a fall in steel prices in China, the benchmark Dalian iron ore futures fell for a third straight session on Tuesday. The most traded iron ore for September delivery on China's Dalian Commodity Exchange ended daytime trading 0.7% lower at 1,149 yuan a tonne. Copper prices surged, and the 3-month copper on the London Metal Exchange has gained 0.7% to $9,969 a tonne. That was by 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, after slipping 0.6% in the previous session. Now, before I share some more trending updates, it's time for a very short break.
At 𝐊𝐴𝐴 TV, we'll take you to the heart of the Australian equity market. We'll bring you breakthrough stories that highlight volatility, as well as tailwinds building across the length and breadth of markets. Whether space travel will gain momentum, while economies may gradually open amid vaccine rollouts, our experts will share their timely inputs. So join us on this exciting journey of live streaming, financial and stock market news. Calkine TV.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Rachel and you're watching Calkine TV live from Sydney. This is the Stocks in Action show. Let's look at some crude oil updates now. Crude oil prices surged to a 2-year high on Tuesday due to a delay in Iranian oil supply, which was expected to increase the oil gluts in the market. August delivery of Brent crude oil futures traded 0.03% up at $70.07 per barrel. Whereas July delivery WTI crude oil futures traded at $70.08 a barrel. That's up 0.04% as of the 9th of June 2021 at 10:10 this morning Australian Eastern Standard Time. A US diplomat has said on Tuesday that the US sanctions on Tehran would remain in place. Even after reaching a nuclear deal with Iran, the US told Iran to let the UN Atomic Agency continue monitoring its activities as the agreement stated has been extended to the 24th of June. The supply curbs by the Organisation of the Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies have also boosted the crude oil prices. A fall in US crude inventories by 2.1 million barrels last week, as according to the American Petroleum Institute, has also buoyed the crude oil prices. In a move to secure international investment in electric vehicle space, the White House said on Tuesday that the US must work with its allies to secure the battery metals for EVs and process them in an eco-friendly manner. The US has been working to secure battery metal supply from its allied countries, including Finland, Canada, Chile and Australia. US President Joe Biden also plans to launch a working group to identify the domestic location for the production and processing of battery metals. The country's miners are unable to supply enough amount of copper, lithium and other raw material used in EV manufacturing due to regulatory pressure related to environmental concerns. Reportedly, lithium, America's Thacker Pass lithium project located in Nevada, is also facing opposition from Native Americans over environmental concerns. The US plans to electrify the majority of cars by 2030 and to replace every car on the road with EV by 2040. On that note, let's look at some more news from ASX listed countries. Race Oncology reports that it has executed a contract with Trialog Clinical Trials in Israel to support the coming combination phase 2 acute myeloid leukemia trial. Trialog will supply the trial drugs as well as provide other clinical services to Race and Chiam Sheba. The phase 2 acute myeloid leukemia trial will feature 29 patients and will utilise bisantrene in a new 3-drug combination. The trial has received human ethics approval and the first patient is expected to be treated in the 3rd quarter of this year. The supply agreement has a maximum cost of $801,247. Now, before I share some more updates, it's time for a short break.
Property by Calkine. Looking for a dream home? Well, that may sound easy, but it isn't. And from looking for a property that is the right fit for you in terms of cost and other factors, to zeroing down on the right mortgage plan, there are various aspects to consider. And for the latest slowdown in the property market, tune in on Calkine TV with me, Sage. I will give the latest updates on the property market as well as real estate stocks to help you make the right decision. Keep watching Property with Calkine.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Rachel and you're watching Calkine TV live from Sydney. This is the Stocks in Action show. Let's look at some more news now. 𝐊𝐚𝐥 announced that its wholly owned consumer health subsidiary, Avengen International, has signed a supply and collaboration agreement with Pump Hair Care. 𝐊𝐚𝐥 has agreed on the supply of its FGF5 inhibitor hair growth products under the Pump brand and to join forces with Pump on new and upcoming products. According to the terms of the agreement, Avengern will manufacture and supply pump-branded hair lotions utilizing its proprietary FGF5 inhibitor hair loss prevention and hair growth technology. Pump will cover all marketing activities and will sell the hair lotions through its omni-channel distribution model. The two companies will also be collaborating on new products. 𝐊𝐴𝐴 will contribute its scientific expertise in developing anti-aging technologies and products, and Pump will market these under its own brand. Moving on, Saturn Metals has announced further significant results from its ongoing reverse circulation drilling at the Apollo Hill deposit within its 100% owned Apollo Hill gold project. That's 60 kilometres southeast of Leonora in the Western Australian goldfields. Another resource upgrade is planned for later in 2021, utilising the results from the next 20,000 metres of drilling planned across the Apollo tenements and the 29,000 metre already completed between January and May. Moving on now, Blue Glass announced a non-renounceable entitlement offer for shareholders and a private placement of 66.67 million new fully paid ordinary shares to raise $2 million at an issue price of 3 cents per share. The new shares will be issued under the placement and will be issued to a leading technology-focused fund. The company will be issuing up to 197.33 million new shares to raise around $6 million. The issue price per new share of 3 cents represents a 46.4% discount to the company's close of 5.6 cents on the 4th of June. Meanwhile, this ASX-listed stock is in the news today. Construction and engineering company Antigua Group has started a strategic review due to increased activity and interest in the sector. The board says that the business is undervalued by recent prices at which shares have traded, and the strategic review will seek to maximise value for all shareholders. The company added that Crescent Capital Partners, the company's largest shareholder, is supportive of the review. Moving on now, Brickworks is anticipating a record high earnings from its property assets. That's following buoyant demand for industrial estate markets in Australia and the US. The company announced in its trading update a major revaluation profit of $100 million within its joint venture industrial property trust. It expects the profits from its share of the joint venture industrial property trust to push up property earnings across the business to between $240 million and $260 million for the financial year ending later this month. At the higher end of the forecast, the property profits would double those of the prior year. Brickworks expects building products EBIT to be higher in Australia and North America in financial year 2021, with sales gathering momentum. But they did say, due to a lack of visibility, was unable to offer guidance on profits. That's all from me for now. Stay tuned with Kalkine TV for more live updates. We'll be back with more news on the economy and diverse themes and sectors very soon. I'm Rachel, signing off for now.